To start off with this video, I want to show you something. Look at this video. This video is amazing. I'm not joking or being sarcastic here. If you're looking at the right thing, it is amazing. It's truly impressive. Don't look at the performance. Don't look at this quote-unquote art piece. Look at the people. He is able to captivate an audience, a group of people, to watch his absurd performances, to follow along and buy into the stupidity that he is selling them. That is impressive. These people will do incredibly stupid things, like fill buckets with sand and then claim it has a meaning about society or something like that. In Roman Signor's art, a bucket of sand often symbolizes themes of change and the forces of nature. His works frequently featured stacked buckets of sand that are designed to destabilize, causing the structure to eventually topple. This action represents the idea of social mobility, the struggle for power, and the fragility of the social structures. The sand itself can be seen as representing individuals within society, and the cascading sand symbolizes how collective actions can impact societal systems. Were you able to get all of that from these buckets of sand? Surely this piece of art was able to express and convey that to you, right? The moment it hit the ground. Or could it be the more likely of the two, which is, this is bullshit. I doubt he believes any of this shit he wrote. It means absolutely dog shit. He doesn't believe any of it. But the people, that's impressive, they do. You had people, real individuals, show up to these events, watch him perform, watch him do these things, and clap along and actually be impressed by what he does. That is real power. Could you do that? You can laugh and mock him all you want. You can say the things he's doing is absurd. But when was the last time you actually formed an event, got people to show up and watch you do something, watched you perform to do anything, much less do something incredibly stupid like this, and were fans of you? When was the last time? I bet zero of you have done anything like this. Meaning, this is absolutely impressive, and it needs to be studied and understood. Now, people have talked about this. The most common theory people have for this is that this is the emperor's new clothes. Everybody's pretending to see something that doesn't exist in order to be seen as intelligent, deep. They're capable of understanding this truly deep art, but they don't. It's a lie. They're all pretending in order to virtue signal. That's one theory, but I don't actually believe that's the case. I think that's the case for a lot of people who defend this and claim it is art. I think that could apply for them. Many of the people who claim that art is subjective and the people who are against it, they're simply unable to understand the deeper meaning. I think you can say that about many people. But what about the people who are truly fans and supporters of these individuals? What about them? Do you think that's the case for them? I find it unlikely. So I thought about this for a long time. I really tried to figure out what could sincerely be enjoyable about these things from their perspective. What could cause them to actually be big fans of these individuals and to admire them in their work? What is enjoyable about any of these things? What is aesthetically pleasing about them? Is there anything at all? And I found one thing that I don't think anybody's really talked about. If you're somebody who doesn't fancy themselves as that intelligent or wise, you might assume that these people's work are extremely deep and meaningful, and you assume and apply meaning to it. But the only problem is there is no meaning. None exists. So you search for it, but you can't find any. So you come to a conclusion. That being, this person's work possesses so much profound depth and meaning that it transcends my ability to understand their work. If I don't understand it, he must be a genius whose work cannot be understood by simply anybody, much less me. So they interpret their inability to understand the work, the inability to find any meaning behind it, not as a flaw in the art, but as evidence of its brilliance. The art has a depth so vast and truly enlightening that only a truly enlightened person could grasp it. As a result, these people gaslight themselves into believing that this artist is some sort of prophetic figure, rather than questioning whether there's any meaning to the art itself. In other words, it's an act of faith. It's even religious in nature, you could say. That's what I think is going on with a lot of these people, especially the sincere fans. Not the people who are putting up an act, who are very smug and say, oh, I understand its deeper meaning, you don't. I'm part of this enlightened club. I think that's what's happening. Talking from my own experience, my art teacher, she was very liberal. She was very left-wing. She called herself a radical feminist, and she was located more in the city. And I asked her, how do you make so much money? How are you able to make thousands of dollars doing art. That's my dream. I want to be an artist. And she said, you're not going to make any money by doing art commissions, by selling art, or doing portraits. The way you do it is you sell to rich idiots. And what she would do is she would make abstract art on those giant canvases that has no meaning. She said she would make up a story about the art, and then she would sell it. And she called the people who bought it idiots, rich idiots. And that's how she made thousands and thousands of dollars at a very young age. These people, unless they're mentally ill, I don't think a large percent of them actually believe the things they're saying. It's a sale. They're selling the idea that it is deep, it is meaningful. And that's how I view a lot of these people. I wouldn't bet half of these quote-unquote artists believe any of the things they're saying. And to a point, you gotta respect it. I mean, you have these people on the right. They're constantly making the same videos over and over. They watch and react to modern art videos or whatever they say. A banana taped to a wall? How stupid that is. Look at the left. Look at how stupid they are. They call this art. I mean, everybody on the right's made a video like that these days. That's easy. Everybody laughs, everybody mocks. But again, I think you're being sold a lie if you actually believe half of these people believe any of the things they're saying. It's a scam. And I think this is all very fascinating because it reveals many cult-like characteristics in even art. You know that many of these people who make these dog shit creations are loved and respected by many of the people who follow their work. They're seen as geniuses by many people. I guarantee that. They're seen as misunderstood geniuses whose work cannot even be understood by them. Imagine how highly they put you in your mind if that's how they see you. That's impressive. You can't even hate these people. It's a scam, but they did it so well, and nobody seems to be discussing these things or looking into it. Stop hating the people who play the game well. Stop it. Call out the game for what it is. That's what you should do. Mock the people who are falling for this bullshit. Call them idiots. But you can't ever hate on these people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars by throwing paint on a canvas. How can you hate a person like that? They're successful, they're doing amazing. You would do the same if you could too. And there are tons of people trying and they're failing all over. I think that's the only appropriate response for these things. Mock the people falling for it. Mocking the people who are selling and profiting off of these things. I mean, you're not exposing them at all or shaming them. They don't care. They don't believe the things they're saying. So what good is it to mock them? They don't care. If you're going after those people, you fundamentally don't understand the game being played. You don't understand what they're actually doing. You're again falling for what they're selling. And that's it for this video. I didn't end it on an amazing note here, but I think it's something that is worth investigating and looking into. People don't talk about this. Nobody ever asks the question, why do people love this art? There's a small group that does. I believe it's sincere. And nobody asks why. If you have a better answer as to why these people enjoy it, feel free to leave it in the comments. But this is my opinion on it. And it is something you should study and learn. It reveals a key aspect about people. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it.